welcome to our new podcast, Indie as Fuck, where we have raw, unfiltered conversations about fashion design, business, and everything they didn't tell us in fashion school. Fashion school, fashion school, fashion school. Everything they didn't tell us in school, fashion school, fashion school. In Indie as Fuck, fashion school, fashion school, fashion school. Like, comment, and subscribe. Fashion school, fashion school. Hey, Indies, welcome back to the Indie as Fuck podcast, where we have raw and unfiltered conversations about everything they didn't tell us in fashion school. I'm your host, Ashontay, and with me are my co-hosts, Dequincy Atterbury and Shantress Fleming. And today, you guys, we're going to be talking about setting boundaries. But before we get into this episode, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast. And yeah, let's kind of just go ahead and get into it. So, you guys know that we're basically in prom season. I'm really talking to y'all, but we're basically in prom season. And so, things have been really busy for us, like next level. And so I really didn't have a plan today, right? But then when I went back to my topics, I was like, damn, we should talk about setting boundaries, because I feel like in prom season, there are a lot of things that occur where designers are trying to figure out, how do I respond to this? How do I navigate this? How do I control this situation? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, I want to talk a little bit about that. And then also, too, what is the importance of those boundaries and why do you need to have them in place? Because I know for me, when I started doing fashion, I felt like I had to do everything. I had to answer every question. I mean, every customer's request was a yes. I had to deliver in some capacity. And I found myself always just getting the short end of the stick pretty much. And I just felt like it was always because I didn't set boundaries, whether it was working with celebrities, whatever that thing is. Like, I feel like there's so many ways or so many things that we kind of struggle to set boundaries with, or, on like as designers.
Yeah, definitely for me, like we're setting boundaries because coming from prom season, wanting to get all the clients, like basically hustling to getting the clients to having a short influx of clientele coming in, and wanting to always satisfy everybody and having to move into, transition into having boundaries was very, very hard for me. Just the process period, like for instance, having people book online, what I mean? It makes it easier to cut down on conversations of having to, what am I trying to say? I'm sorry. Go into always
going into the DMs and eliminating that back and forth. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because it's like certain things, like we're not gonna have like a conversation like that's consulting. You need to book for that. So
I think that's the first boundary, and I do think that's the first boundary that everyone struggles with, because we're all just trying to get the client right. So naturally, you're trying to answer as many questions and provide some type of assurance, right? Yeah. Like that trust. I need them to trust me because I know I'm about to get them a quote. Yeah. All those things, but I feel like the flip side to that is obviously burnout. Being ran the fuck over. I could go on and on the list of when you don't say no.
Yeah,
and what that looks like.
I know one of the boundaries I had to do, like, of not in the beginning when they ask you, hey, can you send me a picture of what it looks like? But then you send a picture and they're like, oh, why it's like that? Like, you don't understand the design process. You don't know what you're looking at. So now you have wasting time trying to say, oh, well, it's like this. It's going to be like this. No.
So then that brings, basically, that'll bring my question to, what are some of the boundaries that you think that designers should have? I do absolutely think that the first one, and I did write that too, was updates. I felt like that was a big boundary. It's like a big question mark by it, right? Because on the flip side, you want to limit how much you're updating your clients, all that kind of shit. But in the same sense, what I'm also realizing with the amount of money that people are paying me, the least I can do is give them an update, right? So I'm actually trying to find the fine line between the two, because my struggle is the first, which is if I send you this update now, I have to explain so many things to you that I wouldn't have to explain if you just wait for the finished product of the picture.
Right.
But because I'm having to do this thing, do you get what I'm saying? And then also sending updates, it interrupts the production flow, y'all.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Like for me, if it's a client that's in town that will come over for fitting, like you get no pictures. Your pictures are when you come over for your fitting.
That's it.
Which is a boundary that I set with them because it's important. You know, yes, you letting me know how important it is you spending all this money on this garment, but it's equally as important for you to show up for your fittings because you're not my only client.
Yeah.
And if you miss this slot, that could mean you forfeit a fitting altogether. Like, you know, that could, you know, so it's really just important for you to show up for your fitting when it's scheduled.
Now, some updates I've been doing this time that has been working for me is like some of the girls like, hey, your fabric just came, so it kind of reassures them like, okay, they feel better, like, oh yeah, my fabric came, my fabric's there. So you know, little.
But
stuff
that's what I was gonna say. So the flip side for us, I feel, would be, what are some ways that people can try to do those updates? Because again, I was on the flip side of, don't ask me for no update, y'all. It is in my contract, that whole nine, right? But as I'm evolving and realizing the price of money that people are spending, the least I can do or say to them is, hey, your fabric came in. You get what I'm saying? We're all good to go. Or, you know what I mean? Just give them something. And I realize,
feel good.
Getting ahead of the curve. Yeah.
So it's like, put them at ease, like, I don't know, what's going on over there, you know? If I'm going to get my garment in time, you know, all of that. But it's all a learning process, you know, as we grow and evolve and continue on in our journey as designers, and everything just change. We update our terms and conditions, and it just get better.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a consistent thing with updating your terms and conditions, just all that stuff, because I still feel that every situation is special. Some, you know, custom clients, they have different issues. They have their issues, and they're for different reasons. And so I'm just kind of learning that even though I do have this basic or formal process in place, I still have to change it or switch it, or not necessarily deteriorate away from it, but I have to kind of, what do you call it when you kind of craft it to that person? Like cater it to whatever that person's experience is. Another thing for me, which is a big boundary that I used to have trouble with, is like consultations. People just arriving on time and actually conducting the consultation time the amount of time that I say that it is. So if it's RTW, or if it's something standard, it might be a 30-minute consultation. If I say it's 45 or an hour, actually sticking to that time, especially if I know I'm not booking. I know we're not booking, just all that kind of stuff. So why am I going through the process of finding fabrics, taking your measurements? Like yesterday, so for every process, even though, let's say some customers are, let's say they're doing a consultation, they expect to have their measurements taken and things like that. I actually am now not doing that if you're not making a deposit, because even though that is what your expectation is in a consultation and you try to deliver, these are what to expect. This is what your $75 is for. It does not make any sense for me to do all those things if you have no plans to move forward. And so like for me, I felt like I had to make an executive decision yesterday to cut that in half, but I explained to the customer and she was okay with it. But I said, when you're ready to make a deposit, then we can get back online for X, Y, and Z. And think about it. Even though I'm saying I'm probably going to have to get back online with her to do a measurement consultation or whatever, I'm going to make sure I make that price good enough for that. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So in my head, I'm like, I know I got to jump back on the call with her, all that kind of stuff when she's ready. Make sure you make the price good enough for all those incentives that you want to provide for that customer. So I was just thinking about all that. But yesterday, if I would have took her measurements and did all of that stuff, it just would have been a waste of time because she ended up not making a deposit. But she did hit me back up today and said, hey, send me the invoice. But all I was thinking about was all the time that was being wasted because we were just talking. You know what I'm saying? Chopping it up, just all that stuff. And it's like, there has to be a boundary with the chop up with the customers. Because they be thinking like, you're their friends. I'm not y'all friend. We're not friends. My job is to create a dynamic that's comfortable for you. That's it. But sometimes I feel that customers don't understand that, and then that's when you get a hey sis text or how much you gonna charge me. Like that's a real pet peeve of mine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't be a friend of mine and ask me how much you gonna charge me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
And I'm talking about like for the shit that we do, like custom, like you making somebody a gown.
What my price gonna be?
What my price gonna be?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about y'all make the hair on my neck raise, because I'm just like, come on, y'all. Like at this point, we ain't really in that space no more. The price is gonna be the price, but also too, like I have to make this price comfortable enough to be able to get back on this call, to be able to keep you updated.
Yeah.
That this is why we talk about charging and the importance of charging your worth and knowing why you're charging your worth. Because if I know that all these things are a part of my process, it should be in the bill. Do you get what I'm saying? And there wouldn't be such heaviness to, damn, I got to update.
Because it's more than it's more than just fabric.
That's it.
And you know, and all of those things, jumping on a call, hopping back on Zoom, that's labor.
That's labor.
That's labor.
Baby.
Time.
Yeah, it is.
I believe that creating boundaries, pretty much any boundaries, kind of creates your type of clientele. Because in my mind, when I'm just like, you know how people will hit you up in a DM or even comment like on a post that you wrote, like, oh, I want this, like changing that comment or that post
dynamic,
to a client, posting the link to book. If you don't book online, then you're not really serious. I feel like you're not really serious,
right? Because if you have the link there, you're gonna book it.
And I do think those boundaries especially are important to establish, especially when you're building your following on multiple platforms. Because there are naturally, especially like most of our Instagrams, I know for me, my Instagram started out as a business Instagram. So with Instagram, I never really had the problem of converting it too much to business, but my Facebook, it was straight personal, and now it is straight business. But it took a lot to do that, and a lot of the boundaries was, and I'm actually glad you said it, because let me tell y'all this, and I ain't about to get off on topic, but y'all know this is Unfiltered Podcast. But I feel that, let's say for instance, you're on Facebook, right? We have to set boundaries as designers. It starts with us, but we can't expect our customers to have those boundaries if we're not setting them. What I'm saying is, how is it when you're doing a sample sale?
Hey Indies, I'm Shantress. Follow us on all social media platforms at Indians Fuck Podcast.
Whatever you got going on, now you need to go. Like, what I'm saying is, it's an inconsistency for me that I see a lot, where it's like, y'all need to go to my website and y'all need to book my link. But as soon as you get broke as fuck, you're saying, hey, cash out me, sample sale, $100.
And it turns into the type of clientele that you're
attracting.
Yeah, that you're attracting. I don't want those type, because I want the type that's not even comfortable sending you any money through Cash App. They don't feel secure, And because if you are charging a decent price, they're gonna like, hold up, I'm not Cash Apping, because
Not just that, most of my clients are saying, yo, you accept credit cards?
Right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, girl, you can't cash. I mean, you can't cash out from a credit card. But my point is, we're talking about the consistency of what you're requesting from your clients, what you're wanting, and you setting your boundaries, but then breaking those boundaries when things get tough, when things aren't happening the way you want them to, or whatever. And then as soon as you get back on, now all of a sudden your website paid for, everything is back. And it's like, no, it just don't work like that. And for me, it's just that consistency with my clients. I have certain clients, if I've had a consistent rapport of this is how I conduct with them, I just simply conduct that way. It doesn't make it unprofessional if I'm not doing anything unprofessional. Do you get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they still get an invoice, they still go through Honeybook or whatever. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what it's that balance.
Yeah, it is balance. And then it's like you say, every customer and client is different. So for instance, I had a consultation, and it was something going on, I sent an invoice, and it was like their money was a certain kind of way, I don't know. But that was like, hey, well, how else can I send this to you? Can I cash up you or can
And
I
bitch,
Zelle
that's
you?
when I'm like,
So I
cash
say-
out me.
Then I say, yes, you can. And then what I'll do is I'll go to the invoice and I'll mark it as paid.
That's
and
right.
Click other and put cash out. They pay me cash out, and they still get an invoice and it's
And
still
they get
recorded.
something saying, "Hey, I
Yeah.
paid for this. It's recorded."
Yes.
And so what we basically just sharing with y'all, like, there's ways around everything, right?
Mhm.
We're not saying that there's a right or wrong way to do anything,
Because
but
I'm not gonna miss out. Like you want to Zelle me,
exactly.
but I'll
If
mark
you
it
want
on
to
the
Zelle me,
invoice.
you can, because people
Especially,
take
like, 'cause I
word.
do a lot of custom design, which means you have to be personable with your clients and having that personal relationship. Like, yeah, you can cash at me,
Yeah.
but on the flip side, like people who don't know me don't know that my business is ran from out the living room of my house. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You send them to book online because they don't know what's good. You know, they don't have that.
And
personal
you have
relationship.
the chance at that point with them to establish what that boundary, I mean, not even that boundary, what the culture of our business is,
what
right?
it is.
So
I
we
always
conduct
ask
this.
my clients, like, have you ever had custom fit before, just to see like where their mind is, so I'll know like how to educate them or be ready for questions that they might have, about the whole situation, and knowing that if they ask something that's outside of the boundaries, this is your opportunity to,
Absolutely,
check them, in other
absolutely.
words.
A lot of people have not had anything done custom before, so they don't know really what the design process may be like, what it looks like, how it is. And then sometimes with us doing custom or being in this culture, sometimes you get down to the wire and that garment may get made the day before.
And that's a lot of our experiences, though, because
But
we've
it's gonna
discussed
get
it a
done.
lot.
It's gonna get
What
done.
customers don't know is that, and this is how I explain it to them now, and I'm actually happy that I'm getting more comfortable with sharing what this process really looks like for us. So I have to say to them, you understand that if I wait for you to pay your dress,
Yep.
right? For the whole 4 months that you want, because you want to break your payments down,
Right.
and I want to help you out. How in the hell can I pay a bill? Do you get what I'm saying? Like I let my customers know, man, we have multiple clients. We take on multiple clients. All of my prom clients, if you're coming in last minute, being upfront with them. Few things we have issues with. Fabric. It's 4 weeks before your prom. You're aware that it's 4 weeks before your prom. So we might run into a dilemma with fabric. But no, I got a backup plan. I'm talking about, I got a physical text. I got a backup plan, ma'am. But we knew this because I discussed it with you.
Right. Communication.
So it's like, those are the things that I'm trying to get in front of now, because I'm like, so what I used to do is, I just wanted to secure the deal. So you'll sit in the consultation and you just like, baby, listen, if you want ruffles, you're gonna get ruffles. If your budget is $450, I'm gonna meet you in your budget. Like you're doing whatever you gotta do to try
to. Like a car salesman.
Like a car salesman. But then you realize, oh shit, this isn't really as beneficial for me.
No, it's not fair to you. It's
right.
not fair for me.
It's not fair to you. But I think what I think is beautiful about what we are talking about, starting to learn, right? Because we're still students, just in our growth and everything. But what we're starting to learn is that there is a price that you pay for growth. There's a price, and I really got to say that, because that updating the customers, like when I tell y'all, it's still a hair that raises on the back of my neck when somebody say, hey, can I get a picture? Can I see what the dress looked like? How the fabric came in?
How's it
going? And I have to stop myself, breathe, and just say, Shantae, you charge for that. Like literally, because you remember, like we're thinking we ain't even making the dresses the way we used to make them.
No,
I charge for that. Like so.
Hey Indies, if you want to be a part of our sewing community, just join our Facebook group, Indie Fashion Creators with Ashontay, by clicking the link below in the description box.
3,000, 4,000, even 850. What I'm starting to process, and don't get me wrong now, setting boundaries, there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying that you can be empathetic, right? But I feel that you really have to process, damn, $150 is not a lot to us because it's our job. Excuse me. But for someone else's dollars, it seems like it's a lot of money. I got the hiccups, y'all. Sorry. So it's like I'm just starting to see what that looks like, and just always sitting on that end of as much as I don't want to say. And then look though, the fabric would just be in there though. And so I even had to tell myself, well, damn, Shantae, the fabric's in the room. It ain't gonna take you much to say, hey, your fabric has arrived.
Yeah.
So just even saying that, because girl, I wasn't even saying that, sis. I was just on some, don't ask me about your dress. And I'm almost like, well, is that like an entitlement thing? You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, no, Shantae, you're not that big or bad that you can't update your clients and let them know what the fuck going on.
I think what it is, for me, I feel like not wanting to update them, kind of like I don't want to open the wrong door and let this keep
that
on.
part.
You know, like, because I cannot keep stopping when I'm doing. We have many clients, and I have to keep, let me send the update. So what I feel like what I can do is, like today, the my applique came in. It was nothing for me to take a quick picture. Hey, this just came in.
Well, I feel like my thing is, why do you need a picture? I ain't saying you can't ask me. It's like, what do you need a picture for? Because you already know what your dress gonna look like. You know what your fabric gonna look like.
You know what
so at this point, why I feel like you about to come at me some type of way.
So I know. So what I think is, I agree with that. I don't like to send pictures. So what I found is, it is the way in which you choose to be updated. And that part is on me. And so for me, I feel that I'm going to control and navigate this whole entire experience. So if you want to update, you're going to get one. You're going to get a verbal one. Hey, and so it's always very professional. Hey, your fabric just came in. We're currently in, process of doing your pattern. Once we're done with your pattern, we're going to production of your dress. I'm talking about, it's always very simple, but I stay within those same lines of production of the pattern to production of the dress, that whole thing, because I'm just like, it's not even what they're asking, is what you're saying to them that sometimes gets them to ask more questions. And some customers are going to do what they want to do regardless, right? But for me, I found that it's what I'm saying in the updates that keeps them from whatever. Because you ever just update in a way where a motherfucker can't ask you nothing else?
Yeah.
I make it uncomfortable for them to say anything else to me, because at that point they feel like, damn, I'm nagging, but I'm not saying anything disrespectful. I'm giving you everything you needed before you asked me, but in one goddamn paragraph. That's it. Because see, they want to go back and forth. They want to say, well, what about this? What about that? So I'm going to tell you about your fabric, your pattern, and where we are with producing it in one sentence. And usually it's followed up by thanks.
And you know what? I think for them asking questions about updates, I feel like it may come from a place of being in the indie world and customers being burned by other designers, and they make it hard for us. And it's like, it's not because they may trust you with their garment, but it's still a level of kind of like, I don't know, they're gonna really come through, horror stories of, someone may be in the process and seeing everything come through, and then the person, the designer or whatever, don't come through with the dress or with the garment, or something is wrong, like that, or just bad business.
I had this client message me, sending me pictures of her daughter's prom gown. The prom was Friday. She sent me the pictures on Thursday, regretting that she didn't use my services. She was out of town. I don't know who or where she ordered this dress from, but it was just ridiculous. It's so crazy. Like, it's so bad. Like, I want to read it so we can talk about ourselves. But once I get it,
but then that's another thing too, because then you end up getting what I wanted versus what I got. And my thing is, you could have came to me from the beginning.
It broke my heart so much. Like, to see that, because that girl ain't asked for that.
You see me rolling my eyes, because guess who don't have no sympathy for their ass? You know why? Because you came, and then it'd be killing me, because these people are actually book a consultation sometimes too, and still go get another dress and then come to me and say, hey, do you think you can fix this? I've turned several clients away in the last couple of weeks, telling them I don't do alterations to other gowns. I can't fix anything because we're on a new trajectory right now. You know what I mean? We want to do everything custom from scratch. I don't want to do that. So personal.
I bought this dress, and can you add this? No, I can't.
This is dress.
Can't.
Hey, that guy dressed me as ruined her promise Friday. I just want to look at these pictures. Look at this fucking dress.
My God.
Like, who and where?
Some more.
Oh my God. What is that?
This is something they probably ordered a company.
This was inspiration.
Look at that.
Oh my
So
God.
I
You know
told
how no
her,
company
I
still
said,
design
I hate to
pictures?
see this. I really wish I was there to help. I would say, was trying. I said, if you're willing to take a trip to Atlanta tomorrow, I'll be more than glad to help. You know, like,
Yep.
I know that's the only way that I'll be able to help you because there's nothing else really I can do. Glad to fix that up for Friday. I know how important these proms are for her. She deserves to feel beautiful. Whomever you bought this from or had make this are not ready yet. This is an easy fix, but I would need her in the dress. There isn't much you can do with that but throw it away. I am sorry. Poor girl. But along with that, another boundary I'm learning, a lot of people ask me for like styling advice along with me making that gown. And I had to realize this is another service. Like this is time. People will message me 7:30, 8 o'clock, sometimes like 12 o'clock in the morning. I wake up to a message like, what you think I should wear with it? Like, no, this is unacceptable but if you're gonna do this, you're gonna pay me for it.
Yeah.
So I've had to have conversations, especially with my guys. They like, ask for the styling. And with you saying this tonight, I'm just gonna start adding it into the price because it's a natural thing that I'm seeing people will ask for styling advice.
Yeah. I'll drop an extra 50 in there. I mean, it's just little things that I just really try to factor in. If I know I got to get on another call, all those things, like when I'm literally factoring in what all those, I consider like an overhead, basically. It's a service. It's a service cost. You know what I mean? As many times as I got to jump on FaceTime and all those things. And don't get me wrong, it is also a part of the deal. And so some, transactions may have not an unlimited amount of not assets at all, but more so like I may communicate with them a little bit more than other clients. I'm charging for that communication. Now that's where I'm that's how I process all my conversations. I'm like, damn, this probably won't be under this amount but it's like I'm also trying to make sure I'm getting the clients what they want. I'm justifying it on the back end with my customer service. Like I feel like my bridal communication right now is fire. Like I'm having a real solid rapport with them. You know what I mean? And it's going to change as I grow. But right now I like, the rapport that we have. And I'm not talking to nobody more than I need to, but they're extremely updated. You get what I'm saying? And I've never, ever had that type of transaction with them. It just kind of carried on like everything else. But it's like, for me, I'm taking them serious. I feel like they're taking me serious. And so, I hope, like, we get a little better. Get some good reviews.
Yeah. Customer service is very, very important, the way you treat people. One of the things I take pride into my business, like before I allowed the money to motivate me, to be honest, I took pride in treating people, right. And I felt like that's where my clientele came from. They bought into, the respect that I have for them as people more so than my craft. And now that I'm, making the money and motivated by the money, of course,
right.
I keep that, staple with me, just continuing to have that, customer service for that client in all aspects.
You make them feel good and confident and feel secure. Like you want them to leave your consultation feeling better than what they came. Like it just feels so good, so happy. Like, oh my God, like you just make their day. Like, oh, you just make me feel so good and everything. And not, and being confident in who we are as designers, and also but not being like snobby and like, funny acting. Like, no, like I'm gonna let my work speak for itself, and I'm gonna carry myself with confidence and still treat you well and treat you right and make you feel good, like make you feel like we're friends. We're not friends, but you're gonna feel so comfortable.
I mean, we colleagues now, and that's what I need y'all to honestly know. I love a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all be in my DMs. I don't want to have to do this, but yes, girl, we are colleagues, honey. We all do the same thing. That's about it. But the ones who I love and have a connection to, you guys know who you are. We just want y'all to be great, and that's the whole point of the podcast. But even before we close out this topic, one thing that I do just want to talk about really quickly is just a little bit of self-care. And the reason why is because I think a part of setting boundaries, I think that's a part of self-care.
Absolutely.
Saying no. I wouldn't necessarily say self-care is, or I wouldn't get into the train of, you're going to do what you got to do for your business. So the amount of bookings that you decide to take on, all those things, that is your business. I just say, as a designer, I am struggling with prioritizing myself and finding time for myself with a growing brand. And so I would just hope that you guys are doing something different. Do you get what I'm saying? Because like the nature of the job is to work a lot. Because what I was telling Shantress earlier, I said, I'm so damn tired. But the way I feel is there's so many people that still don't know about my brand, all that shit. So if I'm not doing the work, who else is going to do it for me? You feel what I'm saying? So as much as I want to go take a nap or whatever, I just sat with it got to get done. But it's like I'm really burnt out and I'm really feeling like I need a day off. And I'm going to take a day off, but it's like...
It's kind of hard to take a full day off.
Dog.
But it's just like, okay, but this is a thing. We can redefine what a day off is.
Facts.
So a day off for us could be more of a more toned down, less busy day, more of
a day off, not actually behind the sewing machine, but still, you know, doing the
maybe do a little administrative, and then that's it for the day.
Or some content.
Go get a drink. Yeah, I feel like I was trying to get a drink all day.
We need to do that sometimes. We need to do that sometimes.
Like just really randomly. Like I wanted to go to Rousseau so bad today, but the day did not go how I wanted to go.
Yeah.
You know?
We gonna do it.
And so it's like I'm just thinking about self-care. And
this season I'm doing something I've never done, which when I got a membership with a chiropractor, like for my body, because my body, you know, I don't know if y'all experience this, but sometimes like for me, when I'm sitting down for a long period of time now, you know, it's like the circulation on my thighs getting cut off just sitting down so long. Now I notice that my feet are starting to swell. I'm like, what's going on? I don't know if it's age.
You're like, ooh, child.
Oh, yes. I'm like, oh, I got to get up. I got to walk around, you know. Just paying attention to my body, what my body needs.
That is
if
true.
I am tired, you taught me this, I believe in taking a nap.
Oh, bitch, them naps is
I
something
believe in
serious.
taking a nap.
Listen.
Sometimes, even if it's hard for me to really like nap, just go lay down for a few seconds, get my mind right, refresh my mind, reboot my mind. You know?
Y'all have had a nap reboot though?
Hell yeah.
So it's two types. It's two types.
Yeah.
So you can nap and reboot, or you can nap and just be mad as hell that you
Yeah.
Like,
I definitely take my reboot nap.
See, I couldn't really figure out what kind of nap I was going to have today. I was like, damn, I could take a nap and it might put me in a bad headspace. So I was like, nah, we ain't going to do it. We going to stay up.
Yeah.
But,
you feel good you stayed up?
I do, because I am definitely tired. But it was, I'm good.
Well, you're going to sleep good tonight.
I am. Definitely. But anyways, that's pretty much going to wrap up tonight's episode, you guys. We just wanted to talk to you really quickly, just honestly about setting boundaries and what that looks like as a designer, an independent designer at that. It's very hard out here, but we're asking that everybody just pretty much stay the course. Remember why your no is a no, and if your yes is a yes, and if it's a hard no, stick to that shit. You know, it's okay to be firm. It's okay to be clear. It's okay to be direct. It doesn't mean anything. You're not offending anybody, or if you are, they'll get over it. And that's not my best advice, but I'm really being honest. It's the truest advice that you could give anybody. What y'all got anything y'all want to leave with them about setting boundaries or anything?
If you don't set boundaries, you have some clients who don't know, and then you have some clients who do know the process and will try to get over on you. Financially, time-wise, all the above. Been there, done that, and ain't doing it no more.
No more. And just like personal relationships, as well as business, you have to teach people how to treat you.
Facts.
Period.
That's it. And so I definitely said I wasn't saying nothing else, but I would say whatever boundaries you are expecting from your customers or whatever new boundaries you want to set, just make sure you are standing firm and hard on those boundaries and you're delivering on your end so that your customers can respect why you have those boundaries in place. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to tonight's episode. Stay happy, stay hungry, and stay blessed. Until next time. Peace.
Out.
Boom. Hey, Indies. Did you enjoy the episode? Did you have a conversation with the fashion gods? Bitch, I want to know. I just want to thank y'all for watching.
Little Handy, little Handy, little Handy.